The world stirs in sleep. Outside your window, the silence hasn't yet been broken by ambition nor by panic. But in the chambers of your soul, there must be fire. Before the light breaks through the window, we must return to the forge, where warriors of the mind and soul are forged, not by chance, but by choice. This is where we begin. Every single day, there is no greater betrayal than to wake up and belong to chaos. A Stoic does not stumble into the morning like a drunk man trying to find his way home. A Stoic rises with a plan, with clarity, with the weight of what must be done already sitting on the shoulders like a shield. We are not here to feel good. We are here to be good. And that path begins before the world gets a chance to pull us into its madness. The first hours of the morning, these are sacred. They are the architecture of everything that will follow. For the rest of the day, we will be tested. But in the morning, we train. Today, we remember the 7 rituals. 7 silent victories before the sun rises. 7 things to armor the mind, to remind the soul of its power, and to prepare for battle. This is not productivity. This is not self-help. This is warfare of the spirit. So take a breath and begin. 1. Rehearse your death. Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. We begin not with comfort, but with confrontation. The Stoic morning does not open with gratitude alone. It opens with mortality. As the eyes open, a true Stoic reminds himself, I could have died in my sleep, and I still could die today. This is not morbid. This is liberation. Because to remember death properly is to remember how precious every minute truly is. Seneca taught us that death is not in the future. It is not a cliff at the end of a long road. No, death is happening now. Every day, we are dying. Every day, life is being taken from us in small, quiet slices. So before we brush our teeth, before we check a phone, before we even speak, we remind ourselves, this could be our final morning. Now, how would you live today if you knew it was your last morning of war? Would you complain? Would you scroll for validation? Would you waste time chasing shadows? No, you would live like a fire, without hesitation, without fear, without softness. This rehearsal is not just poetic. It's practical. For the one who rehearses death every morning becomes the most powerful kind of human, untouchable. What can the world threaten a man who has already embraced the end? To die before we die, this is the first Stoic ritual. And from this death, we are born. Again. 2. Command the mind before the world does. Seneca said, if a man does not know which port he is sailing to, no wind is favorable. Before the noise of the world gets a chance to enter your skull, enter it yourself. Because make no mistake, if you do not command your mind, someone else will. They are already waiting for you. The world, the media, the digital screams, the gossip of the dying, the small emergencies of small minds. They are all at the gates. So you must enter your mind like a general inspects his camp before war. No distractions, no negotiations. You sit with yourself or stand and begin the process of inner reconnaissance. What thoughts were already sneaking in the moment you woke up? Are they yours? Or were they installed there? By fear? By old programming? By others? A Stoic does not merely wake up. A Stoic wakes the mind. This is the sacred time to command the ship before the waves hit. You speak inwardly. These are the values I live by. This is the discipline I expect from myself. This is the man or woman I will not betray today. And if there is fear already forming in the corners of your thoughts, you name it. You expose it. You remove its power by dragging it into the light of rationality. This ritual is quiet. It is invisible to the world, but it is everything. If you allow the world to write on the whiteboard of your mind before you do, then you become a servant. But if you write first, you are sovereign. This second ritual is the forging of mental armor, and it is mandatory. 3. Review the roles you must play today. Epictetus said, remember that you are an actor in a play, which is as the playwright wants it to be. Life is a stage, but most people wander across it like amateurs, improvising, unprepared, reactive. Not us. A Stoic morning involves the remembering of roles. Not masks, no. Masks are fake. Roles are sacred. You are a father, a daughter, a student of virtue, a leader of thought, a protector of reason. a servant of excellence. And today, you will be tested in each role, not once, but constantly. So we rehearse. A Stoic morning is not frantic. It is structured. We take a moment, sometimes with pen and paper, and reflect. What are the arenas of today's battle? Who will try to provoke me, and how will I remain composed? Where might I be tempted to abandon wisdom for approval? What kind of person must I be in each setting? You prepare the self like a warrior prepares his weapons. There is no improvisation in the life of a Stoic. There is only readiness. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of the world's greatest empire, would write in meditations each morning, not about conquests, but about self-conquest. He would write, "Today I shall meet with meddling, ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, and unsocial people." And yet, he did not flinch. Why? Because he rehearsed his response. He reminded himself, "I am not a reaction. I am a role, and I will play it with dignity." 4. Visualize the enemies of your peace. This is not a game. The world is not neutral. Each day brings with it enemies of the inner citadel. Some are external. Most are internal. A Stoic begins the day by meeting them early. This is called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. We do not fear what might happen. We face it in advance with calm, logical clarity. What could go wrong today? What failure may visit me? What insult may be thrown? What interruption may derail me? And how will I respond? You must train the mind like a battlefield commander. If this plan fails, I pivot. If that person disrespects me, I do not flinch. If I am betrayed, I still act according to my principles. Fear is fed by surprise. But if we walk through the worst in the morning, then when it comes, we are already masters of it. Let fools run from suffering. Let Stoics be trained by it. This visualization is not pessimism. It is readiness. Because when chaos arrives, as it always does, we will say only this: "I expected you." Let's begin. 5. Choose voluntary discomfort. Seneca said, "Set aside now, and then a number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition I feared?' Do not wait for suffering to visit you. Invite it." This is the 5th Stoic ritual, one that has separated the masters from the masses for thousands of years. The world worships comfort. It worships convenience. But the Stoic worships something far rarer: fortitude. And the price of fortitude is voluntary discomfort. Each morning, even in small ways, we choose to deny ourselves. Not because we enjoy pain, but because we know that weakness is a disease that grows in comfort, and strength is a fire forged only in challenge. You wake, and you fast, even if your belly craves food. You take the cold shower, not for health, but for discipline. You wear the simpler clothes. You walk instead of ride. You remain silent when your ego wants to be loud. These are rituals of power, invisible to the average man, but sacred to the Stoic. Ask yourself, can I walk through today without needing luxury? Can I be simple and still be strong? Can I live poor and remain rich in virtue? This discomfort is not punishment, it is purification. It reminds us that we need less than we think. It teaches us that pain does not own us. It reveals the truth beneath the luxury, that a warrior is still a warrior without armor. Do not let the first hardship of your day be something you did not choose. Let it be something you embraced. Voluntary discomfort, chosen suffering, is the weapon of those who fear no man, no loss, no hardship. We suffer by choice, so that when suffering comes by fate, we are already prepared. 6. Read the words of the dead. Once Epictetus said, "I am daily learning to be a better man." And who is my teacher? The dead. This is not merely reading. This is resurrection. Each morning, we reach out to those who walked before us, not for nostalgia, but for instruction. Because the Stoics knew, most of the answers we search for in chaos have already been carved into the bones of history. They left us blueprints, not rules, but reflections, not dogma, but direction. Marcus Aurelius, bleeding into parchment by lamplight. Seneca, writing words to a student he would never see again. Epictetus, once a slave, dictating truth from the silence of hardship. These men died, but their thoughts, their discipline, their vision remain eternal. To read them is not merely to absorb knowledge. It is to say, I will not let these minds die with time. I will drink from their spirit. I will walk with the dead. So you pick up meditations. You open letters to Lucilius. You revisit the Enchiridion. Even one paragraph, one sentence, one sharpened idea can destroy an entire day's worth of confusion. Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. These are not quotes. These are ammunition. Let others start their morning with dopamine and noise. We begin with fire and stone. The Stoic ritual of reading is not academic. It is resurrection of the soul. 7. Dedicate the day to reason, not emotion. The final ritual is perhaps the most difficult and the most essential. It is the moment you declare allegiance, not to your feelings, not to your cravings, but to reason. We do not wake up stoic by nature. We wake up animal, primitive, hungry, fearful, desiring. The ritual is to tame the beast, to point its energy toward higher ground. You say to yourself, today, I will not be driven by moods. I will not obey every fear. I will not chase every shadow or respond to every insult. I belong to reason, and reason belongs to virtue. And you remind yourself that feelings are weather. They pass, they rage, they lie, but reason is the compass. It keeps the ship steady in every storm. Seneca told us that the greatest enemy is not fate, it is ourselves. And the worst tyrant is the one inside us who believes that how we feel is how we must act. So we create distance. We observe ourselves. We become the guardian of our mind, not its prisoner. This is the ritual of inner monarchy. You are not your appetite. You are not your envy. You are not your tiredness. You are not your fear. You are the one who sees it all and chooses the higher path anyway. To dedicate the day to reason is to say, I will not betray the stronger version of myself, no matter how tempting it is to be weak. Now, the world will awaken, but you are already armored. You have already fought the first war. You have already burned away the laziness, the doubt, the softness. You have died and been reborn. You have commanded your mind. You have remembered your roles. You have prepared for evil. You have chosen challenge. You have walked with the dead. You have pledged yourself to reason. Now, you walk into the world, not as a servant of fate, but as a master of your soul. Let the world be chaotic. You are order. Let the fools chase comfort. You are forged in discomfort. Let others react. You respond with virtue. Let them complain. You build. Let them panic. You remain still. This is the Stoic path, and it begins every morning, with fire, with clarity, and with the discipline of the soul. If this video touched something deep inside you, so connect with us after subscribing the channel. And make sure don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you for watching this video.